Saturday edition of the Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and joined by Mark Olmos. Mark, 8 races to take a look at, and I think there's a fair few standouts throughout this card when you take a look on paper.
Yeah, there is. It looks a bit too easy for mine, and when we've got the same selections, you know, we're in for a good day.
Well, we hope so. Otherwise, there could be some roughies popping up throughout the day as well that we just completely missed. Let's take a look at the conditions that we are going to be faced with. The Moogle Rail is out 9 metres, be running on a good track as well, and perfect conditions in Perth with sunny the sun out as we like, and we'll be getting perfect weather for it, as I said, no rain around, so looking forward to all of that. Let's get straight into race number 1. It is a Tab Touch plate over the 1,000 metres for the 2-year-olds. I mentioned in the preview that there's some standout horses, and I think we've got one in this.
Oh, absolutely. Looking forward to seeing the return of this beautiful Schnitzel filly. Let's have a look at her winning last start on a Wednesday, putting away a field that contained Orange Strudel.
Moonshine, then Ragazzo Doro starting to bullock into the clear, and dropping out last is Creek, no paddle. Down to the 250, and Orange Strudel about to be tackled by the Hot Pot. High Conviction as Harvey goes to work. It's High Conviction on the Schnitzel filly with 100 to go. She's opening up now, pricks her ears, and he'll sit up and just let her coast down to the post and win in a breeze. High Conviction over...
Really good performance there by the filly, wasn't it? She obviously jumped as that 190 favourite on the Saturday when we saw her, and everything went possibly wrong. Since then, trialled and won the trial by just over 2 lengths on that occasion, and did that with that victory there. She's going to go out very short for this race, and from barrier 8, I think this is actually a pretty weak race as well. I think she'll just be way too good.
Yeah, she does the exact same thing she did last time, I think, Adam. She just goes and sits outside the leader from barrier 8 and does it as she please. On that occasion, I don't think she's suited to sitting outside the leader. With a bit of cover or even on the fence, I think she'd be far more brilliant. But even on that occasion, she left him for dead. And we've also got in the race, number 2, Dainty Test returns after a little break, and we saw how good Dan Morton placed her perfectly, just got around the bigger 2-year-old races and picked up some prize money. I think she's got 105,000 in the bank, which is a super effort for this. She's not a moderate filly, but by no means excellent. So it's great to see Dan Morton placing this filly so well.
5 starts, 3 victories in a second. I think she's certainly probably the second best going into this race. 57.5 kilos. She showed that she can carry that weight before. She did that last start when just beaten by Stored Energy as well. So with a little bit of a freshen up, I expect her to return well.
Yeah, don't discount number 1, Next Generation as well. Still raced well as a $3 favourite last start. Everybody expected him to win after his really nice performance the start before, when winning at about 20 to 1. Look, last start didn't have any favours. Again, sitting outside the leader with a bit of cover would have been much more brilliant, but still a good performance and still right in this. We should probably have a look at your selections, Adam.
Yeah, I'm going to go with number 5, High Conviction here, from 2, Dainty Test, 1, Next Generation, and 4, No Dust on Me.
Yes, I've got the Hot Pot on top as well. Number 5, High Conviction, from 2, Dainty Test, 1, Next Generation, and 6, Box on Loose.
Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It's over the 1,000 metres, and again there looks to be plenty of speed in this race, which may just set it up for a horse running on strongly late, as we saw last week with Sovereign Hall.
And last start winner as well, Bombs Away, will be definitely suited by that speed. We'll have a look at that replay. Bombs Away winning last start.
McCrawfie's Hope led by 2, snuck away from Brzezinski. Nardini getting a run near the inside with You Watching Me. Down the outside, Bombs Away is starting to erupt, and Main Instigator threading its way through from well back with 150 to go. McCrawfie's Hope gathered in by Bombs Away. Nardini, Main Instigator, You Watching Me, but Bombs Away blew them away. Bombs Away.
It was an intriguing run there by Bombs Away. Lindsay Smith, he was just a little bit lost with this galloper, and he just told Joey as a party to go out there, go by feel and see how you go. Now on that occasion there was plenty of speed in the race, so Bombs Away, who's led every single race it's been in, just found itself a little bit back and then attacked the line strongly. They talked about possibly going up to 1,200 metres next, and Lindsay Smith mentioned that he's changed the work. Now, there is good speed in this, but not great speed, so I'll be interested to see if they do push forward again and go to the usual tactics, which had won 2 races before that as well, or if they decide to try and take a bit of a sit and out, sprint some of these, because if they do take the sit, I just don't think they're going to be able to.
It showed a lovely turn of speed, but on that occasion when Joe Azzopardi jumped, he sort of took it back. The horse did pull it for a couple of strides, but then just showed a withering turn of speed, which none of us were really expecting, and a wall of horses, this one poked through. So look, it was a good performance. In the race, we've also got another very, very short price favourite in 6, Stravigo, which wears the colours of Elio Galanti and those famous Scenic Blast colours. Comes over from New South Wales, where it raced okay there. It picked up a race at Randwick, but its recent trial was very good.
Yeah, well, those races are much stronger as well than what we're seeing here, and the recent trial was sensational. Not only was the time good and the margin, it was the way that William Piker kept this galloper wide as well. It probably ended up running, the 1,050 metres. It went a lot extra than the rest of them as well. So with the blinkers off from barrier 6, I think this galloper is going to be too good for them.
We've also got in the race number 2, Den D, which A filly who returns, look, she ran well. She ran well in the Pearl Classic earlier on in the prep, and then she won a race on a Wednesday. Couldn't quite get the job done on Saturday though.
Likes of 12 to 1400 metres. I think this is just going to be too short. She'd need a lot more speed in this race, I think, to win it with 57 kilos from barrier 7. She'll be doing her best work late, probably past the post. As I said, 12, 1400 metres, be very keen, but I think the 1000 will be too short. I am going to go with number 6, Trevigo, for this race. From number 1, Marchand, 3 bombs away, and at 9, you watching me.
Yeah, hard to go past Trevigo. I've got it on top as well. From 5, Sporting Image, 2, Dendee, and 1, Marchand.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park, it's over the 2200 metres. This is a very intriguing staying race with the 9 runners, especially because we've seen some of these gallopers go up against each other over the 1600 metres and the 2000, but there's a couple of weight swings now which really do make it interesting when analysing and crunching the numbers.
Does make it interesting, but there's only one for me, and that's last start, Winner Tradesman. We'll have a look at that Winner Tradesman sitting outside the leader, doing it comfortably.
In behind them came Uncle George, who's down on the inside, and then came Respondent, Dark Musket, followed by Tonto and Tarquin Shadow. Tradesman quickly races to the lead at the 200. It's Tradesman now 2 in front of Respondent. Dark Musket running on, but Tradesman has kicked away from them. Dark Musket giving chase, but Tradesman much too good, and the Belmont Park specialist again.
It was a good win on that occasion, winning by 2 lengths. I thought, as I said, it was a very strong performance. The worst thing here is because they're not claiming on Dark Musket now, it actually meets Tradesman 3.5 kilos worse for that 2-length defeat. Now, I still think the horse has the ability to turn the tables, but you can't tip it when you're looking at the stats like that, even with William Pike getting on board. So I think Tradesman, more suited over the 2200 metres, a good run over 2000, should only improve more. Aaron Mitchell's riding well. It's very hard to go past.
From barrier 9, Dark Musket's going to get back as well, Adam, so it'll have to do the chasing like it did last start. Look, it made up good ground on that occasion, but Tradesman, just too tough. Last 2 starts, it's just lobbed, sat outside the leader, and you're wondering, those horses that sit outside the leader, when they do come to the turn, what they've got left. Both times Tradesman's had plenty in hand, so look, it's very, very hard to go past. In the race, we've also got number 6, The Flirt, who's stringing a few wins together.
Yeah, well, I just think the simple form lines at the moment is Justin and Lucy Warwick. I find it very hard to go past them, even though The Flirt hasn't raced against this type of company. What it did last start and what the Warwick stable has been doing, you just have to keep expecting improvement. I think with the lack of speed in this race, the horses that do show that turn of foot will be well suited, and I think The Flirt's one of them. Absolutely.
We've also got in the race number 7 there, Drooper. Yeah, you think this horse can run a nice race, Adam, with a gear change?
I actually wanted to have it on top, to be honest. Only lost a half length to Shintamani last start, meets it 2 kilos better. Has had the 2 runs now over the 2100 and the 2200 metres. One thing to take note as well, there's only a week back, 1 week back up there. And Ryan Hill just mentioned that the horse just felt a little bit lethargic because of that. So they're giving the 2-week break now. It gets him with 54 kilos, had that experience over the distance, gets 2 kilos on a horse like Shintamani. And then again, you'd go and look even further. The horses like Dark Musket, Shintamani, The Flirt, they've been using horses like Vidello Blue to keep the speed in the race. There is no speed in this race. Drooper can get out in front and it can slow him up as much as it wants to want and then kick away at the top of the straight. So with that lightweight, I give it a really good chance. I didn't have the guts to go against Tradesman, so I do have that on top, but I really like number 7, Drooper, number 6, The Flirt, and 3, Dark Musket.
Yeah, I've got Tradesman on top. Seems to really relish the 3 weeks between runs. From 3, Dark Musket, 4, Shintamani, and number 6, The Flirt.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It's over the 1200 metres, and for mine, this is a race in 2, but a very exciting one. We saw Vega Magic, which was simply brilliant last start, winning by over 5 lengths. And then King River, which was very good over 1200 2 starts ago. The form line's holding up with Red Paddy winning on Wednesday. Dropped back to the 1000, which wasn't suited, but I still thought it was a really good performance.
Yeah, it's opened up super short again, number 1, Vega Magic. We'll have a look at its devastating performance last start, beating Gigante by 5.5 lengths.
Over on the extreme outside, trailed in turn by Con Job and held up behind them. Tudor Bolton Express dances over near the rail, but the favourite said goodbye at the 200. Vega Magic left them standing. It shot 5 in front from Grey Enigma into the clear Gigante, but the birdie had flown and Vega Magic is going to stroll in. It's an absolute walk in the park for the favourite Vega Magic.
What a performance it was there by the 3-year-old in the 72 plus. So coming up against those older horses to win by 5.5 lengths with so much ease as well, in a really good time of 1:10.47. Really just stamped its authority in racing here in the West. We've been waiting for a performance like that, although it's been winning, to win by 5.5 lengths against a pretty good field as well. It was very impressive. Now it goes up in weight, obviously carries the 56.5, but if it runs like that, it is going to almost be impossible to beat.
I loved how Jordan Turner on the Mount Hallowell horse tried to take it up to Vega Magic and was just ended up finishing last, left for dead. This horse is that good. We've also got number 11, King River, Adam. Closed late on Cool Passion last started. Was impeded until the 100 metre where it got out late and well, really withered home, went quite quickly late.
This is the horse that can beat it if the race sets up. If something decides to try and take on Vega Magic again, it might be a Ford's Bet or something like that. It's got a lot of speed as well. If they can just go a little bit hard out in front, King River will be flying home. We saw that 2 starts to go over the 1,200 metres. I think it's ideal being back at this distance. The blinkers remain on as well. Barrier 12, I think, is good. I think this horse is better. Right back at the back, ridden cold, and then attack the line strongly. So it needs the racing patterns to suit. But as I said, I think it's a race between two, and King River can be the one that wins.
And just quickly, Adam, we'll touch on number 3, the Prince out of the Chris Ganjimi yard. Now, they had a ex-Hong Kong runner win for them on Wednesday in Bangalore. Won very nice. This is another one who comes back from Hong Kong. Blinkers on for this 8-year-old by Flying Spur.
Yeah, 8-year-old here that has had the 64 starts and won on 8 occasions as well. Won $820,000. Barrier 1. Now, speaking of the Ganjemis, they just said, just let this horse go around. Have a look. He hasn't had a trial coming into this as well, so you'd expect plenty of improvement. But they're pretty excited about what they've got, and I'm looking forward to seeing maybe just 2-3 runs under its belt before we see its best. But very exciting to have these good gallopers in town as well. Let's take a look at the selections. I'm going to go with number 1, Vega Magic, from 11, King River, 8, Express Dancer, and 12, Mr. Motown.
Quinella of the day for mine. Number 1, Vega Magic, from 11, King River, 2, Gigante, and 8, Express Dancer.